I got 12:40 on the countdown for everybody who's listening. Don't mess around. The store's about to close. It's going down. That's my rap game is tight. I'm hype. I'm white. Not black. But I'm white. And I said that on purpose because apparently most Republicans hate black people. I don't know where they get that from. I really don't. Kamala, and I like going in and out. I like this way we're doing this, going in and out of the debate a little bit. So during the break, Heather was rambling on about something about Trump hates black people. And I was like,
no, I didn't.
I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, you know, Trump hates black people. He put that black guy in prison. At least Kamala said he put a black guy in prison. And I was like, well, do you have this black guy's name? She's like, no. I was like, all right, well, we'll wing it. She's like, I don't want to wing it. I was like, we're going to go with it.
Facts. I want to be able to show you.
I've got enough information in my brain to make you go insane.
Oh,
all right. So during the debate, Kamala Harris made some outrageous comments, and she reached way back, and she brought up the Central Park Five and how young Donald Trump made a newspaper post or a text, or he did something about they should all be put to death, or they should be get the death penalty for what they did, and it was a horrendous crime. We're not going to go back over the crime of the Central Park Five, but the police department had already had their case done. The investigators, the kids were in court. They pleaded guilty to the crime, and everybody was making comments. If you remember, if you're old enough to remember, if you don't waste your time looking it up. But everybody was making comments. Young Donald Trump made a comment. Now they deserve the death penalty for what they did. Kamala brought that up at the debate to show you that Donald Trump unjustly hates black people, and he wants to prosecute them and put them in prison because they're black. She brought up some guy that while he was president, they got put in prison, and she blamed it on him, like the president actually goes around putting people in prison. That only happens in third world countries and with the Biden administration. So she talked about all that. And Heather's question to me was, why didn't Trump refute it?
Like, just immediately, because all of this stuff about her being a prosecutor out in California and keeping like so many people, I don't have numbers, but locked up for simple drug possessions, things that are like weed that like, I mean, you smell going down the street these days.
Yeah, the stuff that black people cry about the unfairness of criminalizing weed just to lock up a brother, right? They cry about that. They're like, oh, it's not fair, man. Half the institutions got weed charges. That's all they got. Okay. But Kamala Harris is the one in California who made the law in California for the state of California to lock up black people for weed possession, for joint possession, for minor infractions. Now, I believe it's against the law. You go to jail. That's your fault. You're the one that broke the law.
Like, nobody goes to prison and didn't know that if they did something, they might go to prison.
Right. It happens. Now, should you go to prison for a weed charge? I don't think so.
No.
I really don't think so.
Absolutely
all right?
not.
I don't even think you should go to prison for cocaine charge. That's just Jonathan Morris. All right?
I mean, if you're not selling it and distributing it, you're just damaging yourself.
You get pulled over. You get pulled over with
yourself.
You get pulled over with a key or a quarter key, and with distribution, and you're a menace to society. Yeah, whatever. You get pulled over with this little book of sugar hanging out. You know, that's what they call it on the street.
So gross.
I don't condone that behavior anymore. I mean, I live a pretty clean lifestyle. No alcohol, no drugs, unless they're prescribed to me by a doctor. And it's only for surgical purposes. But anyways.
Is that why you keep having surgery?
Yes, just to get the drugs. They actually accused me of that.
Are you kidding?
I should have
That's
sued
the dumbest thing.
you know what? I think Morgan & Morgan called me, or what's that guy's name? Con? He used to work for the radio station. Con? I don't know. John knows him. He's a lawyer. I'm going to call him. I don't think I'm going to sue him. But while I'm laying in bed, dying, aspirating, 120 heart rate, blood pressure like 199 over like 102. The lady's like, oh, you're just trying to get more pain pills. I was like, oh, yeah, I scheduled this knee replacement. And I asked the doctor to cut 5 pieces off my bone in an emergency setting.
It just sounded like so much fun.
Yeah, I just thought I'd come in here to score a little bit of opium drip. Get out of my room before I throw you out the window. But she had the audacity to tell me that. But anyways, Kamala Harris locked up black people at like a rate of like 8-1. You could Google it, look it up, fact check it, DuckDuckDaddy, go it, whatever, however you want to get your information. All right. Then she kept people incarcerated after their time, their EOS in the sentence, to keep getting free labor out of them, which is also called slavery. Slavery.
But she's black. She
not
can't
black.
have slaves. Or
She's
she
not
can't.
black.
I know. I'm just,
You ain't black.
yeah.
But the moderator, remember the question he asked Trump? Why does it matter? Why'd you have to ask that question
For which part?
about her being black? And Trump's like, look, she's the one that said it, not me. That was the only thing I felt like he answered properly. Really, out of the whole debate, the only thing that he answered I thought properly was, he said, look, I don't know anything. I read in the paper that she wasn't black. She was an Indian lady. He's like, again, I don't care what she is. And then 2 years later, I read Kamala's black. He's like, so I tweeted, oh, now Kamala's black. She's the one that put out the report, not me. He's like, I just commented on it. But they asked
This
him.
lack of social grace is just.
But here's the thing, like if you put out a statement saying, hey, I'm a boy now, the hippopotamus is now a dude, and I text, oh, you're a dude now? That's not my fault. I'm not judging you. I'm just commenting on what you said. You know what I mean?
Right.
So Kamala went from non-black because she didn't want to be black. She's not black. She doesn't want to be wrapped up with black people because she's not black, to now she's black. And Trump commented on it. Just a bunch of craziness. Let's go from crazy to crazier. The UAW, we've been talking about them for a long time.
Oh, boy.
And isn't it ironic that she bragged about Taylor Swift endorsing her? And doesn't Taylor Swift have songs of like nothing but making bad choices? Somebody sent me that picture.
I saw that too.
I think Lisa sent it to me. Lisa sent me a thing about be careful about Taylor Swift endorsing you. All of her songs are about choosing the wrong person.
Yeah.
So maybe this is a sign to vote Trump because Kamala's the wrong person because Taylor Swift said so.
I love Taylor Swift, but I love Taylor Swift as a singer. I don't need her political advice.
I don't. I think when she first came on the scene, her songs
When she was
were
16,
her songs were poppy, like pop,
Yeah.
like in your head, and my
it
kids
was
listened to them a
country
little
pop,
bit.
and it was new, and it
Yeah.
was young,
He
young
said,
country.
she said the 50-yard line, da 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 da, whatever.
Yeah, that's not a song.
Whatever. But as it progressed, I got ready. No, I don't listen to her music. But anyways, and then she said, and the way she worded it, to me is again, trickery, distraction, mass falsification, mass distraction. She said, the United Auto Workers endorse me. Now, to an uneducated person, that would lead you to believe that the United Auto Workers in the auto industry endorsed Kamala Harris. She made reference to Fain, the president of the operation.
Oh yeah,
We
I
just
totally
did a
caught
story
that.
about
I was
him.
Like, I know that name. The
Right?
only reason I would have known that name was because of your show.
That's right. It's my job to give you vision and show you the hypocrisy. And then what you do with that information, you can choke on it or you can chew it up and swallow it. None of my business. If the lie in your heart hates the truth in my mouth, change your heart. So she was proud and she bragged how they endorsed her, the United Auto Workers endorsed her, and she spoke personally with President Fain, or Executive Fain, whatever his name is, whatever his title is. She failed to mention that it was the UAW, the United Auto Workers Union.
Oh, so
Okay.
not the actual company,
Not
just the
the
person who
not-
represents the people and gets them raises.
Not the workers, the people that represent the union. And we've talked about this before. Unions do serve a purpose. They do have a place. But when the union collides with the government and they become a mob-like enforcement for the government to shut down businesses, because the only thing they bargained for was 30% mandatory raises, which will put those companies out of business. Those manufacturing companies cannot give 30% raises across the board and maintain their staff. We talked about it last week that as soon as they did the 30% mandatory increase, 49% of the employees lost their jobs the next week, and they were replaced with automation or robots. They don't care about the economy. They don't care about the middle class. They get behind these companies that force people out of work. They hoorah, hoorah, hoorah. We care about you. Screw the man, stick it to the man. We're going to get everybody 30% raises. Don't you want a 30% raise? Yeah, I want a 30% raise. Okay, cool. All right, we got the raises. Now, let's draw straws because half of y'all got to go home because only half of y'all keeping your jobs. What? We just got raises. Yeah, but unfortunately, the raises are going to break the company. So they're replacing half of y'all with robots. The rest of y'all, pack your bags, get out of here. Here's your 2-week pinch, what do they call it? A severance?
Severance, yeah.
Here's your 2-week severance. All right? Why Trump didn't dispute that the actual workers in the steel mills, in the auto factory plants are behind him, and why he didn't say, well, that's the union that is costing people their jobs, I don't understand why he didn't take that opportunity. You know? I still don't get that. It blows my mind.
It kind of showed That showed weakness to me that he didn't come back with some of those things, like they're very obvious things that are actually already in the media that he could have just been like, hey, but remember this. Like,
it was like he kept trying to bring up, I don't know, like he was trying to justify himself, or it was like, we know, we believe you, buddy. We're on your side. We got you. We don't need to keep hearing about this stuff. Like, punch her back in the mouth. Not literally, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, call her on her crap. Call her out on her crap.
do the same thing she's doing, or at least defend yourself for when
Yeah.
she's accusing you.
I did. And now, of course, Kamala and them are like, well, I bet Trump won't debate me twice. I want another debate. Well, of course you do. Now you want another debate. How much more time we got? We got time for the hell and the horror of cow attacks.
Do it.
Do you know how many cows kill people every year?
Why would a cow kill a person? They're so cute and cuddly. I
Well,
hate the cows.
I wanted to cover this story because you got my profile on Instagram and TikTok and all that set up for cows.
Yes.
Now you're telling me I'm the only one that sees that, though. My people don't see that.
Your algorithm shows you more and more
It
cows.
shows me that.
Yes.
But
I
that is
love
very
it.
false. That's very bad information to give people.
What?
It leads you to believe that you can go get next to a 1,000-pound animal and take pictures with it and cuddle with it and hold it and lay on the ground with it, when that thing could just accidentally step on you and break every bone in your foot just by accident.
I need to go back to the farm.
Let alone when you piss it off and it wants to put its head down and hit you with that 1,000-pound body, or you walk behind it and it kicks you and shatters your shin bone. All right. This lady and her husband were out walking the dogs. They jumped a fence for a next area. And then
Mistake number one.
Next thing you know, 30 cows came around the corner, butted her to the ground, and started hitting her, stepping on her, stomping on her. She almost died if her husband hadn't saved her. The story goes on and on and on. Talks about all the different people. Let me see here. 257 cattle incidences last year.
Who knew?
Stay out of cow farms. Stay out of the way. Stop seeing something on social media and think, oh, I'm going to go take a picture with a fluffy cow. Cow's going to run your butt over.
Leave it to me. I'll take those pictures for you.
Let me deal with the cows. Guys, thank you for listening to the show. Thank you for tuning in. Last chance to get your order in, 407-402-5686. I'll be in Georgia tomorrow, Alabama, then Fort Walton. It's a big day, long day, but Mom and I are going to be riding. So check us out. If you're in Lake Mary, 101 North Country Club Road, come by the shop. Heather Hippopotamus, thank you. It's been a
And
great
we'll be
show.
on YouTube with after the show.
Right after the show, clean the plate. We finally got the internet box. We're going to be up to speed. Later.
God bless the